Welcome to the 59th episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I am Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
Ben Valdez, Transit Director.
Awesome. We're happy to have you as a guest today, Ben. Very excited to talk about Pueblo Transit. I want to remind the listener that we're available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts. And there are lots of opportunities to like, subscribe, and you can leave us a review. And don't forget, if you have questions or you want to suggest a topic for Mayor Graham, you can email us mayor@pueblo.us. So, Ben, we want to talk about the Ride Pueblo app. We have a new app with Pueblo Transit. Tell us a little bit about it.
So Ride Pueblo is probably 12 months in concept to execution from when we first put it all together. It's essentially a app you can download from wherever you download your apps that you can do all of your own trip planning, real-time tracking of buses in the system as they're going. The initial kick for us was that we wanted to bring ourselves into a more modern era moving forward, kind of like they do it up north in Denver. Mm-hmm. They don't really have one in Colorado Springs that's functional, so we would be the furthest south that actually runs a ride planning app. It cuts down a lot of the day-to-day calls. Before we launched the app, we were fielding between 100, 120 calls a day for directions. Just, where's my bus? Where's this bus at? What do I need to catch to go to here? How do I get to the mall from my house? How do I get to the doctor, Social Security office, etc.? So we think we've cut probably 20% of those calls since the initial launch, and we're hoping to cut it further down. It's like everything else. It's like a new toy, so everybody's running with it, and they're having a really good time. It works really, really well. It actually works off of landmarks, so you don't even have to know the exact address. You can just type in landmarks, and it'll route you through a landmark.
Yeah.
And it's very, very close to accurate. It even routes you through all the transfer points and everything else, so it's super, super, super good.
So you guys were essentially a concierge before, and I could just call you and say, hey, Ben, I'm at City Hall right now, and I need to get to, and I could tell you my destination. I need to get to the North Side King Soopers.
That is a fact.
And people would call and say those things.
That is a fact.
Wow.
There are large groups of people in the city that have the direct line to my desk, so I give directions to people all day long.
So you tell them which route or what time, and
everybody on my staff is a direction giver at one time or another during the day, and those calls have drastically reduced, so it's actually working out really well. Last week we went to the ADA committee, and we got props from the ADA committee. They were really happy about the use, and they liked the way it worked out, and so on and so forth. So that's one of one so far. We have the Transportation Advisory Committee today.
Okay.
We'll see what the feedback we get out of there, but everything's been positive so far, so we're kind of excited.
And does the app work the same way? Like, if I don't have a smartphone, can I use it on the computer?
You can. There's also the website link off of the website and the QR codes that are going up in all of the shelters and at the transit center and in buses.
Okay.
And the QR code will take you to where it is and give you the link to the website and everything else as you go.
So it's pretty user-friendly.
It is very user-friendly.
So it sounds like response has been good so far. What do you think this looks like long-term for Pueblo Transit?
So I think this is the stepping off point for expansion. I think the next thing we want to look at with this is how we can use a fare box to its full potential, how we can enable the online pass selling so that we can try to get away from paper fare media and put everything on a phone. That way people can buy a pass one time and then just top it up. And the fare box and technology is already in the fare box.
Okay.
We just have to link all the pieces so that it can make the crossover.
So how would that work? I buy it on my phone, and then I just show you my pass?
You get on the bus and you'd show it to the bus operator.
Yeah.
He would hit the button to validate it, and then you would hold it up to the fare box to the infrared light, and it would activate your pass.
Okay.
And
so kind of like when I just scan a coupon or a code or whatever.
100%.
At the store.
It will alleviate a lot of the issues we have with counting cash and fare boxes and all those things that take multiple hours out of the day.
Wow. Okay. And I know, Mayor, this is something that you you have championed having more ridership and increasing ridership because with public transit, a lot of our funding is based on our numbers. So how do you think this impacts the community or what it looks like kind of moving forward for us?
Well, it's for sure going to make it more accessible. And if it's easier, maybe more people will ride. And maybe a younger generation will think it's cool to ride the bus, right? Because then you can track the bus on your app.
That's
right. Like
that's what I'm thinking with, like, you know, our D60 students that ride the bus, our PCC students that ride the bus. I mean, I think of our generation, and I'm like, I'm not going on the computer to look up the route and say, okay, at 8:36, I get off here, and then I transfer here. I want it right there on my phone.
It can also be like a safety measure for if you have young adults riding the bus and their parents are...
You know exactly where that bus is.
Yeah, are trying to see where the bus is, right? You know,
totally.
Making sure that the kid's on the bus first and then the bus is arriving at what time. So,
yeah,
I see a lot of great things coming
Absolutely.
from the app. Will we be able to push any kind of notifications out on the app? So if it's like snow day, when I am messaging you at 4 a.m. to see if we're going to have the buses.
So we will. It'll be able, a lot of the stuff that is enabled inside the app is like we can do real-time pushes for construction because summer in Pueblo is construction season. So we can load all the detours and we can tell them which stops are running and which stops aren't running on those routes on those days. We can push out our winter route schedule when it comes to that time of the year as well. So if somebody calls in and says, hey, I left my blah, 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 blah on there, we can push that out to the operator, and they'll know exactly where it sits inside there without ever using the radio. So there's a lot of good possibilities for the way we can push it as we go. For us, a lot of it was looking at the information we get to the street. How fast can we let you know there's a detour and it's not coming? Because that's a lot of what the call is I've been waiting for 45 minutes. Where's it at? And a lot of times it's just because there's a detour that went up. When the waterworks shows up and digs a hole,
right,
you just do what you got to do.
Well, and so much of that notification piece that you and I coordinate is then on social media. But if folks aren't on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, and that's not their default to go check, hey, is my bus late for construction, it's confusing. And then if you go online, you go to pueblo.us, you're looking for the ticker at the top. Well, if we don't know right away, that information's not available essentially in real time. And I think that's the thing that's so cool about this app is the interface. You can pull it right up and it'll tell you your bus is 2 minutes out. And then you're not wondering, hey, Ben, why is my bus 45 minutes late or whatever?
Instantaneous information. That's the way we like to look at it. We're going to be pushing it as fast as we get it. So if something breaks at the transit center, we'll tell you this bus is going to be late. So look at this one to come inside to pick it up.
Okay.
It's just about expanding that role of communication to make it easier for the community as a whole that depend on those guys to give them a ride every day.
Yeah.
You pretty much know who's going to be at what stop. So getting them the information ahead of time kind of makes it a lot easier for everybody else.
And does this
it's like
work?
an Uber.
It that's
to
exactly.
To an extent.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
cheaper.
It's
Because
cheaper.
I don't have to pay Uber prices or Lyft or whoever you.
Yeah.
We don't want to hate on just one. We'll hate on all of them.
It's fair.
Now, does this also work with City Lift? Am I able to?
So City Lift would be the next module we add to it. We haven't.
That's the future piece.
It is. That's the future piece as we make that jump because City Lift is not federally mandated to have GTS. Well, it's not mandated to have tracking data per se. So when we cross that bridge in the near future, then we'll be able to add those on as well. So everybody will track everything in real time.
That's exciting.
So you'll have multiple pages on the same app is essentially how it'll go to.
So I could swipe between the two. That's amazing. Okay. Ben, I know we talk a lot about partnerships, whether it be, our partnership with Colorado State Fair or maybe Care and Share or with the school district or with PCC. Talk talk to us about what this app means for those partnerships or just transit overall.
So a lot of the communities we were looking to enable into this process was like, we're a little over a year and a half-ish into Veterans Ride Free. Mm-hmm. So we were really trying to connect the veteran community from Pueblo into the app as we push it out, because a lot of those people are really, really transit dependent. As a veteran myself, Brian is a veteran, we all do the same stuff, man. We look out for those guys because they look out for us. So getting that community, that information was really essential, because they don't have a ride. And sometimes that's the only barrier between them and a job or them and school. So we're trying to alleviate those barriers. And also, as you know, we've been reaching out to CSUP to try and work some bridges out there. And we have some pretty sweet marketing ideas that we got from those guys that we're going to unveil to some people in the next few weeks to show them how we're going to look to push the system as a whole from that side of the community, from that generation, because they have some really, really good ideas to how to reach out to that demographic. And I think it's going to make a difference on how our ridership numbers pick up in the coming year.
I agree. I think, Mayor, you mentioned it, like we're so app dependent, or I guess
there better be an app for it.
Right. Like we're like app happy. We ask people like, well, is there an app for it? And I think there's a demographic right there with college students. If you don't have an app, they're like, well, what are you doing? I mean, we have it for all of our food, all of our transportation, for our gaming, for our social media, for all the things. I feel like there are apps that I don't know exist for things I probably should have an app for. And so that's a group that one of the first things they asked me is, hey, do you have an app? And I said, it's coming.
But even the ideas they pushed to us about how using their social media preferences and what you put on there,
yes,
what's going to grab their attention versus what they just scroll through because they don't want to bother. So it gives you a different perspective on how to grab it. And I think it was really interesting to hear that side of it.
Our attention span is
limited.
Okay, what else do we need to know about public transit?
So,
how do you get the app? Tell us.
So you can download your app, any app store on a smartphone. Okay. You can download it. It's there's a link off our website for the desktop version, which is on the internet.
Yep.
And it's free to download. And if you have any troubles, you can still call, because most people have my direct line. You just call me.
Yeah.
I answer, and we'll have a conversation and figure it out.
It is really easy. I think I downloaded
Did you put it on?
Like a minute.
Yep. It's fairly quick.
No big deal at all. And it's very easy to use. Like I said, it literally just says my location. I don't even have to say that I'm at City Hall. It already knows. And then you can plan whether it's like quickest route, or you could say I have to be there at 2:00, and it'll plan that way too.
The cab confused it for a while.
Oh, I bet.
Because it was still looking for PBR.
PBR.
It wouldn't pick up cab, it would pick up PBR.
That's funny. But I do like the fact that it has landmarks. Like, I can just put City Park in there. I could just put downtown. And it kind of gives you a couple options. Even like Midtown. I don't even have to put like Midtown Shopping Center. It just says
It'll
Midtown.
come up.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what they use for the ADA. They were using it out of Midtown because they go over there. So that's what they were pretty amazed about. They were like, we didn't know what the street was, but we knew the location. I was like, there we go. We're ready.
Well, and I feel like a lot of us in Pueblo, we're not necessarily using like Abriendo when we're talking about Dutch Clark. You're not like, oh, you're going to be on Abriendo Avenue, and then you'll find Dutch Clark on your right-hand side. You're just like, yeah, Dutch Clark is down there. It's kind of across from the levee. Like we use landmarks to describe where you're going. So it makes sense that I would be able to use landmarks in the app. Cool. Anything else you want to share with us about Pueblo Transit that anyone and everyone needs to know?
So stand by for expansion news in the not too near future.
Okay.
All we're waiting on is contracting with CDOT.
Okay.
Then we'll have funds, and we'll be ready to go into a little bit of later hour microtransit expansion for the remainder of the year when we get it.
That's a little teaser there.
Into next year. So we're trying to bridge the gap to about 8:30, 9 p.m. to give people a little bit better option. It may be a little bit higher ticket price, but it'll be an option until 9 p.m.
Still cheaper than Uber or Lyft.
True.
Okay, cool. Well, then we'll have to have you back for that announcement. That's exciting. Cool. Thank you for joining us this morning, Ben. We appreciate it. Mayor, we don't have a ton to go over from last night's city council meeting. It was a pretty short agenda. We got done early. We had approvals for a quitclaim deed with Habitat for Humanity, funding for the Employee Health Clinic, approval for DOC work for parks for tree trimming, and assistance with Fountain Creek and Arkansas River. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about for the city council meeting last night?
I think it was covered. Short and sweet.
It felt kind of straightforward and
Yeah.
just business.
It was a really nice proclamation to Candace Tarvella.
Yeah, that was a really nice proclamation. And we'll have that featured on our social media on May 21st. That's when the proclamation is for. But it was great.
Yeah.
A lot of her family was there last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mayor, we have a couple of questions from the listener.
Oh. I didn't read the script today, so.
It's okay. I know you can answer these, so I'm not worried about it. Is it possible for ARPA interest dollars to go toward curb, gutter, and road repairs?
Yes. I mean, ARPA interest can be used for anything that City Council dedicates it to. We took a large sum of it, the remainder of it out, for the shelter recently. So just kind of depends how the money is being spent in the account right now. It's not gaining as much interest as it previously did.
Yeah.
So there's a few thousand in there at this point. So you wouldn't get very much curb and gutter and roadway done, but the city does have specific funds in order to do curb, gutter, and roadway. So I would probably suggest not to use ARPA interest because we do have other funds.
Got it. Okay. Second question is, since you have been mayor, what would you say your biggest accomplishment is?
Ooh.
I know that one is kind of tough, huh?
Yeah. I mean, probably to sum it up, just still being the mayor, right?
Still being here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what you told me last week.
I don't remember. But that's what the answer is this week.
Oh, okay. All right. It can change.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Well, because it encompasses everything, right? Like if people were truly that upset with the job of the mayor or the job that I would have been doing or am doing, they would have canned me in November, right?
And we had a couple opportunities to potentially do that.
Yeah. And they didn't. So I would say in the end, that's a success. And people obviously must be thrilled with what's going on in the community.
Okay. That sounds great. We have a couple upcoming events. Reminder from last week that the city partnered with Waste Connections May 4th through May 16th for spring cleanup for discount days. So you can still take advantage of that through Saturday of this week. That's a 50% discount for residents on whatever your load is. Solid waste, trash, yard trimmings, mattresses, box springs, all accepted. You do have to cover them and secure the load to receive the discount. And Waste Connections Southside landfill hours are Monday through Friday from 7 to 5 and Saturday from 8 to 1. No appliances, electronics, liquids, paint, tires, hazardous waste, construction, demolition, or roofing materials.
Do you have to have a voucher or a bill?
You have to have a city, you have to have your ID or a utility bill that shows that you live within city limits. Thanks for the reminder, Ben. Good job.
I'm just asking because I got to go.
Yeah, I know. And it's discounted, so it's affordable. We also have some upcoming town halls with you, Mayor. Those are starting at the end of May. So Wednesday, May 27th at the City Park George Williams Banquet Hall. Tuesday, June 2nd at Rawlings Library, Brett Kelly A Room. Thursday, June 11th at the YMCA. And Tuesday, June 9th at Lucero Library. And we'll have more information about those coming up, but wanted to get those on everybody's calendar. Anything else that I'm missing for events?
I don't think so.
Feels like we've got lots going on. It feels like every weekend there's some event downtown or in a park or...
Yeah, Wednesday night we'll be at Pillars Park for...
Oh, yeah, the Meet the Artists.
Yeah, Meet the Artists, the murals.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
And it's hot this week, too.
88.
Yep. Okay. Well, thanks for a great episode. I want to remind our listeners you can email us with questions or topic suggestions, mayor@pueblo.us. Find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts. Download the Transit app wherever you get your apps. If you're an iPhone or Android user, smartphone user, go to the App Store. It's free. And please like, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast, and we'll see you next week.